Welcome to another kidOYO tutorial. In today's lesson, we will be creating a custom sprite to act as our intro to a project about us. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to get rid of the scratch cat. So we simply want to click on the scissor icon in the top gray bar and click out the cat. Once you do this, you can choose the Paint New Sprite from the New Sprite control panel and open your graphic tablet. If you use this little arrow here, it will change the view of your workspace so that you can have a larger graphic palette to work on and a smaller stage. This helps so you can have some more detail. You can also, for detail, be able to zoom in and have a closer up view of what you're working on for finer detail, or zoom out. So in this case, we're going to be drawing our best possible self-portrait. I'm not all that great at doing this, but I'm going to give it a shot. So I just want to give you a quick overview of how these tools work, and then I'll let you go from there since this is pretty self-explanatory and easy to do. You have a paintbrush tool. You have the ability to choose any color you like, and when you do, you can see that it fills this little color icon down here to indicate which color you're working with. You also have a line width tool. It's just a simple drag bar, and if you drag it to the right, you can see, I'm going to choose a more visible color here, you can see that it makes the line really thick, and if you drag it all the way left, it makes the line really thin. So I'm going to start with that little line and just give you a quick showing of how it works. Thin line, thick line. Okay, now if I want to clear this entire palette, I can hit the clear button, or if I just want to get rid of the last thing that I drew, I can hit the undo button. I'm going to get rid of it all. The next tool that you have is a line tool. It works very similarly. You just click and hold to draw a line. You can draw a line in any direction you like. Okay. You have a rectangle tool, and then when you have a rectangle tool, you actually have two options. You can draw an empty rectangle, or you can draw a filled-in rectangle. Once you have drawn your rectangle, you'll have the opportunity to rotate it, and you can also change its size and shape. Now once you've clicked out, you can't click back in and simply change it. If you want to do that again, you have to use your select tool, highlight the entire space you want, and then you can manipulate the object again. Okay. Next you have your ellipse tool. Now here's a little tip from a graphic design standpoint. You have these two tools as well, outline and filled in, but if you want to just try to guess and try to get a circle as close as you can, you'll probably do a really good job of it. If you want to make sure you constrain your proportions or lock them so that the height and width are exactly the same, you need to hold down your shift button on your keyboard and draw the ellipse freestyle. This will lock it in and only allow you to draw a perfect circle. And then you have the same tools as you had before. Now I'm going to leave these two tools on here to show you the next part. These two shapes on here, excuse me, to show you the next part. Now if I want to fill these in with a color, I can choose my paint bucket. And my paint bucket gives me four options. One is a solid fill, the other is a gradient fill, filling with the most color to the left and coming across to the second color to the right. These are how the two colors work. So you see if I click on this bottom color, I can select red. And then because red is on top, it'll be the color that defaults to the left-hand side of a fill. Oops, sorry, I did a solid fill. Let's try that again. So you can see it creates a gradient effect. If I flip those around, then you can see that it will fill with the orange starting on the left and ending up in the right. You also have a vertical fill, so this will work the same way except for filling from top to bottom. And then you have a circular fill. And I'll choose a different color here. So you can see the circular fill works the same way. I can choose which way I want the colors to render based on which square is on top. And if I don't see any of the squares I like here, I can also choose from a rainbow color. Now when I go in and fill, it'll fill my circle like this, and then I can get even more creative and start clicking within here, and it'll start creating more fills that are circular. Now this one is creating lines because I have already chose a gradient that is a vertical gradient, and it will fill, it's only sensing these lines going vertically. Okay, so if I'd like to erase any of that, I can use the eraser, simple tool. And I can use the select tool if I decide that I want to remove half, or I can also add text. So when I add text, this is also a little tricky too, and it can kind of be one of the quirkier things about using Scratch. Let me clear this stage. So I have my text. I can choose below the font listing from a series of 6 different fonts. So let me use marker, and then I can click where I want to start typing. And now I can see what it is. I can't see where I can change anything yet until I click out. Now I have one chance, and unfortunately only one chance, to change the size and maybe even change how it's going to render. Once I click out of text, I can no longer edit this text in here either. So you have to kind of do a back step if you want to just get rid of the text that's in there. So unfortunately that's one of the little limitations there. Okay, so now that you have a basic understanding of how that works, let's go ahead and start drawing a character of you. Good luck! I'll sign off now. You can come back to the next tutorial lesson when this part is complete.